We're delighted to say we've been nominated to win an award for our podcast at the Football Blogging Awards, and we've made the final 10. We now need your votes to help us win. If you enjoy the content we produce, please spare a moment of your time to cast your vote. Here's how. You've got two options. You can vote on the FBA website or on Twitter. Let's start with the website option. You can use a mobile, tablet or desktop to access their site. Head to the link shown on screen now, which is also in the description. Head to Best Football Podcast, the option on the top right hand side of the list. Open the options box and select the Villa View podcast. Scroll down, check the box to agree to the terms and conditions and submit. Job done. Voting on Twitter is even easier. Go to our page, @thevillaview_, and you'll see our pinned tweet about voting for the awards. Click on the link next to vote and you'll be given the option to send a tweet from your own account. Shouldn't take you any longer than about 15 seconds. And we'd really appreciate that time. To even reach the top 10 is a massive achievement for us, but let's try and do what we can to go one step further. Thanks for all your continued support on the channel and the podcast. It really means the world to us. Up the Villa.
Going to try not to waffle on too long at the start because we did get I saw a bit of criticism on Twitter when someone says I turned off after 3 minutes because all they talked about was fashion.
20 minutes later.
Dan's fashion sense is class in my opinion. Let him live. That's fair. Nice to get some support.
I mean, it's not fair. You're looking a lot better today.
Just I'm more cash today, aren't I? Yeah. Just let me live though.
I think if you've ever met Dan, you know that structure is not his forte. He likes to go with it. You're a creative being, aren't you?
I am. I'm like I'm number 10, playing behind the strikers, making stuff happen.
I can't remember a player that's got this much fanfare, Villa or otherwise, than John Terry. It's been quite a 24 hours really, hasn't it?
Harry Redknapp's kind of sat back. It's a bit like when you ask a girl out at school, she says no, and then a few people get wind of it and they say, did you ask that girl out? And you go, no, I don't like her. I bumped into someone who I've met before, actually. Admittedly, he had a bit to drink, and he was like, you know who Tom Julian reminds me of? He reminds me of Will from The In-Betweeners. And I found that very, very funny.
You said that you'd know, in the Premier League era, if I gave him the squad number, he'd be able to name the player for the grand prize.
I think you've definitely stumped me. 23. I know, I've got it, Habib Bey.
Habib Bey is correct! Well done, Dan. No Bardell, no podcast. And I completely agree with that, which is why I've got the best Bardell I could possibly get today. Senior Bardell, David Bardell. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I wanted people to discuss Martin O'Neill. I've said, was he a hero or was he a villain? And shockingly, I'm shocked at this. You're not so shocked. No. Hero 62%, villain 38%. And that baffles me. Because I've got down here the phrase I used to you yesterday when we were talking about him. Yeah. I've got down here that he's an egotistical, selfish baby. And let me start by saying, at the time, I was loving Villa. Mm-hmm. Then I was loving what we were doing. Yeah. But now I look back on it, and maybe it's tainted because of the way he left. Because as I've said, the way he left was an absolute disgrace. But he did overspend, and the first time he wasn't given what he wanted, he ran off.
What do you mean he overspent? He finished top 6. What were you hoping for at that point? Top 4? And we were competing for top 4.
Yeah, but the football landscape was very different at that point. We should have got more bang for our buck.
The buck stops with Randy Lerner for me. The managers that came after O'Neill were absolutely tragic. Do you want a little Middlesbrough-based fact?
Go on then, Tom.
Tony Pulis can take solace from this one. No Middlesbrough manager since Brian Robson in 1994 has won their first game in charge.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting tidbit. Thank you.
But there's just a good atmosphere. There's a good feeling. And I imagine as a player, when there's a good feeling in the stands, that's gonna come down onto the pitch.
Have you looked at the Twitter questions yet?
I have, but I've not wrote anything down. I'll just go through them again in the way that annoys you.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're in here as well, so it's going to be a mess tonight, isn't it?
Good stuff. It's always a mess, but it seems to have not done us too much harm.
Would you fight to the death with 10 duck-sized tigers or 1 tiger-sized duck?
Oh, I'm going to go the same as you.
You've got to take the giant duck.
The giant duck.
That's not scary at all.
No, he can't. I suppose he could bite you.
But it's not going to move very well. It's not very agile, a duck.
No, he can't punch you or anything like that.
Actually, having said that, if it starts flapping, it gets quite aggressive, ducks.
It's a quacking question, though.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd be a terrible manager because I genuinely wouldn't know what to do. This is how bad a manager I'd be, because I'm talking about Football Manager. It only comes in every 5 or 6 podcasts. Yeah. I can't be Villa on Football Manager.
All right.
I can't even manage Villa on a computer game, so I'd be useless. On the TV, I like to watch the football on my own. Yeah. If I'm being honest. And then Andrew was like, "Oh, me and Ali, our friend, are coming back. We'll watch the football with you." And I was like, "Oh, no." I said to them, "You're not allowed to ask questions all the way through." If Adama and Grealish are back, I'd be less inclined to play Grabban, even though I think he's done well. He's a better footballer than I thought he was before I watched him play for Villa, and he has been a breath of fresh air, to be honest, and he's been pivotal, and I was someone who said we didn't need another striker. Wrong.
So this is coming from a former referee.
Oh, you have.
I've been to the conventions, mate.
This is a
Don't you think?
viewpoint I've never ever thought of.
Right, but it makes serious sense, I think, because if the referee starts and he arrives at your club and goes, do you know what, it's really nice, I really like going here, looking forward to coming here again, kind of thing, then you've got an immediately good reaction with the club. Now, I don't know how. You shouldn't
base your decisions on whether you've had a nice shower.
You shouldn't, but that's subconscious.
I think we spent too long in ref's corner here. Apologies for anyone who had to listen to the ramblings of a failed referee.
For Aston Villa v Reading, 7:45 kickoff. Win, lose or draw, Dan?
I'm annoyed they've got a new manager. Why does that keep happening? I'll go for Villa win.
I have gone for a total of 14 points there out of 18. Do you think that's enough for second?
If you win the two either side, possibly. It could come down to goal difference, though. Thank God I wore a shirt tonight, because Dolan's come like he's going to the Ritz Hotel.
It wasn't intended, it's just work attire. And
pocket square blazer, some rascal shoes.
Hoppo Ben, the chant master. Although he probably doesn't
use it anymore.
Doesn't deserve that title.
Master's very generous after what he sent into there.
The Bjarnason chant, all I saw was Bjarnason.
I was talking to Rollo last night on the way home, and we were talking about, like, do you think people are born with that, or do you think it takes practice? And it is a bit of both, but the way Jack Grealish is, the way he plays the game, a lot of that is natural, because the way he dribbles is very unique. You don't see many players who can dribble and carry the ball the way he does. So it is natural, because otherwise other people would be training themselves and doing exactly the same. So it's natural ability.
I just want to say thank you again to all of those who have subscribed and who listen and give us reviews on iTunes as well. It means so much to the channel. As you can see, we're now, as I say,
you were talking, I wasn't even listening. Looking at a blank wall rather than listening to you.
Well, let's call it a day then.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.